February 23rd, 2023, Senate Committee on Retirement. And let's see, Senator Rhett, you want to go ahead with yours? Senate Bill 85, if you'd come up to the table and have a seat and present your bill, if you will, please, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, my fellow senators, colleagues, friends, and y'all. I'm here today to talk with you about Senate Bill 85. As most of us know, the state of Georgia and other places are facing a workforce challenge, just trying to keep and maintain quality people. Well, this bill will help us to recruit and retain quality veterans to work, to become valued personnel here in the state of Georgia. I know what it's like to be a part of the workforce because I'm a retired veteran myself, and anything we can do to help them move along and also support our state, it's always appreciated. Basically, what this bill does is it authorizes the Employee Retirement System of Georgia to obtain members of the Employees Retirement System to obtain up to 60 months of credible service for active duty service in the United States Armed Forces. It provides eligibility requirements for members applying to obtain credible service, and it also requires members to pay a full actuarial cost of the credible service before being awarded such service. And it provides when members may not receive credible services. The bill allows for the Employees Retirement System with members of the Employees Retirement System. I'm sorry, I got the wrong glasses on. I left my dollar store glasses home, so I'm using my real glasses, which cost about for $300. Okay, this bill allows members of the Employees Retirement System with at least 2 years of membership service in the ERS to obtain up to 60 months of credible service for active military service in the United States Armed Forces performed on or after 1990. To obtain credible service, the members must apply in the manner required by the Board of Trustees, submit qualifying proof of the member's active military service, and pay to the Board of Trustees the full actuarial cost of the credible service as determined by the board. Upon approval of an application for credible service, this bill requires the Board of Trustees to provide the applicant with the amount due to the retirement system required to earn the credible service. The member may choose to pay the full amount within 90 days to the Board of Trustees or enroll in a payment plan. Once the amount has been paid in full, the member will receive the credible service to which he or she is entitled. This bill, however, provides that no member will receive credible service if the member was not honorably discharged, not for reserve duty, not for any time he or she received membership service, or for any portion of the member's active duty service that has been or will be used in determining eligibility for retirement benefits from any other state or federal retirement program, excluding Social Security. Basically, I've had an auditor take a look at the bill, as you see it, and they have certified it as a fiscal retirement bill. And if y'all like the bill, I'd like to ask that we move to send it out for an actuarial study during the summer when we're in recess, so that we can perhaps move forward. I think it's a good bill, it's a good tool to recruit and maintain quality veterans for the state of Georgia. And I've worked on it a while back with the former senator Senator Black. We worked together on this, and it was a pretty solid bill. It made it, it made it all the way almost to the finish line in the House. But since this is not the Regulation Industry Committee and we're not talking about gambling, I put my money on Seabiscuit and we lost. But if you can work with us and give us another shot at it, I'm gonna still put my money on Seabiscuit, but I think we have a pretty good bill here.
Thank you, Senator. We're working off LC 432487.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I should have said that in the beginning.
Okay. Let's see, member number 4. Okay, Senator, go right ahead. Sir.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Senator, for presenting the bill. Completely agree with the policy objective. My only question is, I'm curious if there's a story behind the title, proposed title of the act on lines 8 and 9. I mean, if the family's involved or if you've got a story for why you named it after him, the late speaker.
I'm sorry. What? Say that. What?
Yeah, the bill appears to be named after the late speaker, who we all revere and hold in dear memory, high respect. And so I'm curious if there's a story on naming the bill after him.
Well, last session, him and the current Speaker of the House both helped me get my veterans bill passed last session. And what that does is, on your state income tax, if you get a return, you can donate money to support disabled veterans in the technical colleges. So I named that one after Senator, I had a blank. He was there before Tillery. Jack Hill, because Jack also helped me with it, and then this time I figured, and it's an interesting story with that. Jack Hill and I were on the phone the night before he died. He passed away. And so I named that after him. And this one, because the speaker and the current speaker both work with me, I figure I would repay the favor.
Okay, thanks, Senator.
Let's see, number 10. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you very much, Mr. Chairman. Senator, the actuary cost, is that a set cost or is it a percentage of what? The gentleman that was helping me with my veteran issues and helping the veterans for me passed away, and I'm trying to get a handle on a lot of that. So can you tell me about that?
Well, an actuarial study, they just look at the financial.
But you haven't done any.
That's what I'm asking for, that if
I know you're asking for that, but you haven't.
we did a fiscal note, and they certified it to be a fiscal retirement bill. And so what we'll do is do an actuarial study to see how much it would cost in terms of allowing
The whole thing. Okay.
right. And we may shorten the years, or if it's feasible, but right now 5 has been a pretty good year.
5 years, 60 months. Okay. Thank you.
Let's see, Senator Harbin.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So what I'm understanding is this: 2 years of service of ERS.
Right.
Once they have that, that really would, and they would have to do an actuarial certification, then they would have, they would gather 60 months of credit for 2 years of service. Is that what I'm understanding?
No. But they have to have worked for the state for at least 2 years.
Years.
And then they'll be eligible to buy up to, I don't know if I misunderstood you or not, they'll be eligible to buy into up to 5 years, 60 months. And that amount that they have to pay in will be determined by the Board of Trustees, but they'll have to pay that full amount, whether in installments or at one time, before they can actually get credit for the years. We used to do that with the school system for veterans. We gave them up to 5 years, and they'd have to buy into it at a set cost.
Okay, so they would have to pay they'd have to pay into what would have been put there had they been employed for that period of time.
Yes.
Okay, okey-doke. Thank you,
Or
sir.
the amount determined by the board.
Board, gotcha.
Senator Walker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Redd, I appreciate the sentiment behind this. I guess what I'm trying to understand is, would the amount that they, and we may need to ask Mr. Potvin, but would the amount that they had to pay in be, in other words, would this not have any adverse cost to the system? Is that your intent? That they would, the amount they pay would equal what it was gonna cost to the ERS?
Yes, and that's what, and also the actuarial study, if we do one over the summer, it can determine the exact amount that they would have to pay so that it's not, doesn't negatively impact the state.
My concern is, although this is, I do agree, I like the intent, as I said, we have not been able to do a COLA for the ERS employees for, I think it was 13 or 14 years. We finally did one last year. And we, I think, have a formula now going forward for basically a 401k type model for ERS with a stepped up match based on length of service with the state, where it'll eventually be a 9% state match to their, I think, 3% contribution. I don't want to in any way disrupt the path we're on by adding people to this, and I guess I'd like Mr. Potvin to maybe just comment on it so I'm clear. And of course, an actuarial study is not free. I think it's about $5,000 or so is what I'm told. So I don't want to go, I don't want to support something that, for an actuarial study that we're not willing to pass if the numbers come back.
See here, he can come on up.
You-
Yeah, please, Mr. Potvin, and we didn't have a sign-up sheet, but I was going to ask y'all to come up. Ma'am? Right. Oh, okay. Yes, sir, let's see. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Walker, so as I understand the way the bill is constructed, the terminology with full actuarial cost means that we are asked to do a calculation, essentially. What is the expected lifetime benefit of the person before they buy the service, and what is the expected lifetime benefit after they buy the service? The difference between those two numbers is sort of the actuarial cost of buying the service, and we require, via the bill language, the individual purchasing the service to make up that full amount, either in a lump sum or via a payment plan. So there wouldn't be any impact to the system under those kinds of circumstances.
Can I ask to follow?
Yes, sir, please do.
Do we have, are we doing anything similar already in the system, allowing people to buy in?
We have a number of service purchase provisions. They don't all have this full actuarial cost language, but in the case of the more recent ones that have been passed since, say the mid-teens, we ask for this language in all of these bills for this reason.
If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Please carry on. Mhm.
So this is not onerous, or, because it's going to vary on every individual.
Yes, it is. And
Yeah.
sometimes the numbers can be pretty big, and that's actually, so the idea of having a payment plan is relatively new to the official code of Georgia. One of the previous retirement chairs actually kind of championed that for that reason, because we were asking for lump sums that could be in the many tens of thousands of dollars. So we felt like maybe it'd be easier for the individuals, but from a system standpoint, it doesn't matter to us either way.
So you can manage it if this were to pass.
Yes, sir.
Y'all are accustomed to doing this for other,
Yes, sir.
okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you. Let's see, number 9.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So my mother-in-law taught kindergarten for 28 years. She retired 2 years before her 30th year, and she basically bought her last 2 years so that she would have a full 30-year retirement. By her buying her way in, did that put any more costs onto the system?
Well, if you're talking teachers' retirement system, I don't want to speak for them, but we have similar provisions where we allow people to purchase what we call airtime at the end, and again, we require quote-unquote full actuarial cost. So again, no burden on the system, but it is quite expensive to purchase at that time and to reach the 30-year mark.
So that's kind of my point with this. If you if you buy into the system, if you buy your years, it doesn't, it doesn't, you know, tax the fund any more than it would, right?
That's correct. That's the
And so
design.
if they do the payment plans, I guess you would have to you'd have to amortize that some kind of way. I
Mhm.
mean,
Yep, we have a process outlined for that.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any other member? Mr. Potvin, you have anything else you wish to add?
I do not. I was going to say that, you know, looking for full actuarial cost is sort of my main concern whenever I see a bill like this, but since it's in there, as far as we're concerned, we're good to go.
Okay.
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Does anyone else in the audience wish to speak on this bill? Don't see anyone. Pleasure of the committee. Number 10.
Mr. Chairman, I really like this, so I move that it do pass.
Have a motion do pass.
I'm sorry, actuarial study. I move that we do it.
Move
and
to
act-
pass to the actuary study.
Yes,
Right,
for
move-
this summer, I'm
No,
sorry.
not, yeah,
See, you're in only.
right, move to pass to do the actuary
First
study.
study.
Right. And, have a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So carry. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So that will move on to actuary. We'll be requesting the actuary study on that. Thank you. Okay. Okay, Senator Estevez, Senate Bill 199. And this is a non-fiscal bill, and I think we're working off, I'm sure, here we are, we're working off LC 365483. Is that the one you have, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, go right ahead and present your bill, please, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to the committee. I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to do this and present a bill that I believe is not only good for our employees of the state, but particularly our teachers who are working hard to help educate our future. What this bill is trying to do is address a problem that currently exists with our benefits, our flexible benefits that the state provides. As of right now, the state does not provide state employees, including public school teachers, access to pre-tax health savings accounts, and can only either use post-tax dollars, which some of us do, to place money into HSA accounts, or they have to utilize a health spending account, which is different from an HSA health savings account plan. And I'm going to distinguish those two in just a second. What this bill does is it gives the Department of Administrative Services the authority to give state employees the opportunity to make pre-tax contributions to HSAs that would roll over from year to year and allow for our state employees to accumulate wealth over the long term. So just very briefly, the difference between a health savings account and a health spending account. A health savings account allows you to earn money over time and roll it over year after year. So there's no rush like you do with a health spending account to spend it at the end of the year. You also save money on taxes, but both pre-tax contributions, and as it grows, you're able to save money on those taxes as long as it's withdrawn for medical expenses. Importantly, unlike a health spending account, you can actually invest funds that you put into a health savings account. So over time, you can allocate a portion of that health savings account to be invested, which means your money is not only tax-free, but it's growing in the market. And finally, because you're able to roll it over year after year, you can actually save that money into retirement and use that money for medical expenses when you retire. Even if you leave the state, that health savings account rolls with you as long as you have an eligible account. Now, those eligible accounts are high deductible plans. That's different than health spending accounts. With the health spending account, you can get one with any healthcare plan, but remember, those are accounts that you have to spend down at the end of each year. Between 5 to 7% of our employees, whether it's state or teachers, utilize high deductible health plans. Currently, the state of Georgia offers a post-tax contribution health savings account, which means that our employees are missing out on a key benefit. That key benefit is the opportunity to put money into this HSA without having to pay taxes on it. As I mentioned before, what this bill does is require that the Department of Administrative Services expand their flexible benefit offerings to include health savings accounts to all state employees. And in our communications with the General Counsel of the department, they agreed that the current statute prohibits the department from offering these health savings accounts on a pre-tax basis. The statute, if you look at some of the changes, is very old. It was passed in 1991, and in fact, one of the changes that we make removes the reference to the 1986 tax code. In 2003, Congress passed a bill that allowed health savings accounts to be created. So what this bill does is it allows us to take advantage of this relatively new thing. The current third-party administrator for our high deductible plan, Health Equity, already offers health savings accounts as a feature, so it would be relatively easy for the department to implement this on a pre-tax basis. And it really does provide significant savings. Rough math shows that when you are an employee that is retirement bound in the 25% tax bracket, and you contribute about $300 a month to your HSA account, that's about $3,600 a year. The HSA pre-tax contribution allows you to save about $900 per year in taxes. Now that may seem small, but when you multiply that across roughly 7% of our public school teacher and state employee base, you get about 1,100 employees. Multiply that $900 by 1,100 employees, and you get over $10 million in tax savings from those employees. Here's the added benefit, and I'll close with this, is that it also provides a savings for the state. Right now, the state is paying FICA taxes on employee wages. So anything that goes out the door post tax, the state has to pay taxes on. By deducting this money on a pre-tax basis, the state does not have to pay FICA taxes. So just based on the example that I gave you, with that $10 million saved in taxes, the total contribution that the employees would save is much greater than that, because the $10 million only includes what they saved on taxes. The state would save $3.1 million in FICA taxes by implementing this bill and ensuring that as many employees as possible utilize it who utilize high deductible plans. So with that, I ask the committee decide that this is a bill worth moving on and adopt it with a due pass.
Let's see. Senator McLaurin.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Senator, am I understanding you correctly that federal law basically allows a state to grab some low-hanging fruit to save money and improve health outcomes?
Senator, you know what you speak.
Okay, sounds pretty good then. Thanks, Senator.
Senator Harvey.
Yes, we've had some conversations on this
We have.
already. Under the current law, you've got to have a high deductible plan in order for this to work. The federal issue, the federal tax is not a question. This has to do with the state income tax on the contribution. For instance, today, I think for someone over 50, which I am, that amount is $8,300. So what you're saying with this bill, it would save the income tax on the $8,300 that I would not, or an employee would not have to pay, because it is a deduction or is not taxed by the state. It is a total deduction for federal already. This would make it totally deductible from the state level, so that you're not paying state income tax. And for employees of the state's not paying the FICA side.
Slight modification there
Okay.
is that it would actually save, with the pre-tax contribution, you're actually saving on state and federal taxes.
Gotcha.
So you're saving both with that pre-tax contribution. Right now, if you're enrolled in a health savings account, you are being taxed a withhold. You're being about 25% is withheld,
Right.
depending on your tax bracket. So that money, you would have to file a return and try to get it back at the end of the year, or for many employees, that's their tax liability. This would save that withholding from happening in the first place, both at the state level and the federal level.
Just one question is, how many of your teachers already have, or you may not know this, a high deductible plan in place now? Do you know what the statistical data is on that? Just curious.
Yeah, so according to the executive director of the state health benefit plan, about 5 to 7% of the plan participants are in high deductible plans.
Yeah, it's an educational process, and the taxation issue is kind of hard for people to grasp and understand, but it's a great deal, in my opinion, if you're willing to take that.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
Let's see. Yes, sir. Senator Goodman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just out of curiosity, when you're older and you have to take these funds out, are you taxed on it at that point or no?
No. Whether it's in retirement or if you're under the age of 65, you can still take it out tax-free as long as it is related to a medical expense. I think the added benefit in retirement is that once you turn 65, whatever's in that HSA, you can withdraw for any benefit, for any use. So it's really restricted between now and the age of 65 on medical expenses. That's tax-free without penalty. Once you turn 85, it kind of becomes a IRA, 401k, and you're able to use it on whatever you'd like.
Mr. Chairman, can I have one more question?
Yes, sir.
Or
Go
two
right
more,
ahead.
actually. If you have one of these health savings accounts, could you put additional funds into it that don't necessarily come from your salary? I mean, that.
Yes, sir. Although there is a maximum contribution. I don't know what the maximum contribution is at the moment.
Yearly contribution.
But there's an annual yearly contribution that's a maximum. And you know, this is one of those things when you're dealing with accountants. This is one of those vehicles that they encourage people to invest in, particularly if they have a high deductible plan, because you are able to save money on taxes long term beyond whatever you're doing in salary.
One more, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
So when you, if someone passes away suddenly and there's in a health savings account and it goes on to your children, if they don't want to use that for healthcare purposes, would they have to be taxed at that point or no?
That I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry, Senator.
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
This is interesting to me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Senator Harvey.
I was just gonna, for information coming to you, under age 50, $7,300 can be put away deductible if you're over 50, it's 8,300 for 2022. It indexes up. After 65, you can use it for most all medical expenses. You could also use it to buy long-term care. There's if you go out to the IRS, you can pull it up and you can see it. And like I said, if you never get started on it, it's a great way from that standpoint. And what this is doing, it's not only making it deductible at the federal level, but at the state level, which is a great thing. And I don't know how you do it, but educating people to that fact, it's interesting. This was created originally because you're spending your money. So you are far more interested in that bill when it comes in is, why are you charging me this? What's the deductible? What's the cost? And I think it's a good thing really overall when people take care of their own health care. They're conscious if they get to keep that money. It would pass, as I see it, or you have a beneficiary, just like an IRA, it would pass to the beneficiary as well. And they can use it the same way. So it's a great deal in my opinion.
That answers your question. Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Anyone else have any comments or questions? Okay, Senator Walker.
Mr. Chairman, I really like this bipartisan bill, and that I got to sign on to. Thank you for the senator for bringing this to us, and at the right time, I would like to make a motion to do pass.
Okay. Was there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on this bill or about this bill? It seems like now would be the right time, Senator Walker.
Thank you, sir. I make a motion do pass. Is this the right one?
Senate Bill 199.
199 LC 365483.
Okay, duly noted.
Thank you.
Have a second by Senator Harbin. Any discussion, questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So carry. Got your bill.
Thank you so much to the committee, and I must shout out Donald Cronin, who's our HR director. And this all came about from a conversation that we had
Great.
earlier
Thank
this
you.
year. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Okay, are we over? No, I think we got one more. Yeah, there he is. We were giving you time to catch your breath, Senator Strickland. Come right on
I
up.
don't need too much time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Senate Bill 143, it's LC 432619. I'll be brief. I'm just asking this bill get referred so the study can be completed. This is a 2-year process, as y'all know. My first retirement bill I think I've carried, but I'm learning all this. What this bill does is it deals with retirement for our appellate judges with our Court of Appeals and Supreme Court justices. This comes at the request of our Court of Appeals judges. This will give parity and make their retirement the same as all your other people involved in our courts, from our district attorneys, solicitors, Superior Court judges, all the way down. Our appellate court judges currently have the retirement age of 65 to vest. This makes that 60 to be consistent. That's all the bill does. We actually had this bill last year. Chairman Mullis carried it. The House, for some reason, had some issues, and not because of you, I'm sure, Mr. Chairman, but couldn't get it passed. We did pass it out of this chamber. It was almost unanimous, I think, when it passed out of this chamber. Again, just creating parity. I can't remember what the studies showed. We'll have a new study anyway. That's all I'm asking you to do with this bill.
Okay, thank you. Any members have any questions? Anyone in the audience wish to speak on this bill?
Glad it's not that
Quiet
exciting.
audience. I mean, why couldn't they have been in ethics this morning?
You should have seen my last bill I just presented, so.
And anybody have any? Yes, sir.
Actually, a very quick question for the author, Mr. Chairman. Chairman, do you mind if I do all your media on this bill? I think we're all favorable to it. I just want to go on TV, take credit
Well, I
for
know
it.
you're a freshman, you have nothing going on, so you probably have the time for all the requests you'll get for this bill in particular. All media cares a lot about this bill, and so it'll be very popular. So if you have the time to volunteer, I'll let you take that.
I'll clear my schedule. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you.
Yep.
Thank you. I would try to make some joke about trying to kiss up to the appellate judges, but I guess you could say the same thing about me, so.
Anyone else have any? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, and this one is for hearing only, and it requires an actuarial study. And so that's, does this committee have any recommendations, how it wants to move forward? Does it want to request this hearing or the study? Yes, sir. Senator Goodman?
I'll make, if it's the appropriate time, I'd like to make a motion to send Senate Bill 143 for an actuarial study.
Okay. And a second by Senator McLaurin. Thank you. Any discussion, any questions, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So carry.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. And no other business to come before this committee. We'll stand adjourned. Thank you.